क्या है, अंग्रेज अपना कायदा बना के गए, छोड़ के गए. Now
1860.
they,
1860.
yeah, 1860.
You watched Three Idiots, right?
Yeah.
In that scene where Sharman Joshi jumps off the roof, where Boman Irani gives him two
Yeah.
options. So, do you think Boman Irani can be charged with abetment of suicide in such a case?
I think firstly everyone's going to be wondering why is this guy changing his earphones so much.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of We Talk a Lot. So, Akshay, how does it feel we're finally doing this?
I don't know. I still don't have words because I think this is the first time both of us are doing it. At least I'm doing it. So I think it is going to be an experience. At least this episode is going to be an experience. I hope it goes well. But yeah, we have to get our radio voices ready. I think, you have to be ready with those
Yeah.
kind of things.
That's the two things. Actually, I'm conscious about two things. First, how my recorded voice will sound, and secondly, I don't know why you asked me to clean shave. So I'm just conscious about these two things, honestly.
Yeah, I'm happy with the clean shave. I was looking horrendous before this, but yeah, I'm a little worried. I think it's still weird. I'm still getting used to this whole lockdown thing where you look at yourself while talking, and when you're arguing in court, when you look at yourself, it just makes you more conscious. So at least now I have you to look at, so it's a little better.
Yeah. So the topic for the first episode is abetment of suicide. So Akshay, how familiar are you with this topic?
I should, in fact, say I am because my first ever moot court competition was on this. If you remember that whole Jia Khan suicide case, I think it was 2013 or something. Yeah, I was in my first year or just joining my second year. It was just that period, and I didn't know anything on moot courts. But this is one of the few cases or one of the few sections I really studied. And it is pretty interesting. It is quite a sensitive topic in society. So I think we should, it's something which we always kind of hear about or come across. And yeah, but I don't know much about legally. I think you're the expert over here. You're the one who's going to be really imbibing some knowledge.
No one's the expert, but yeah, we could talk about this. I think it's a really interesting topic. So
I think we should just kind of maybe give an overview of what it is before we delve into the law. The scope of our. Yeah, so firstly, feel free to interrupt me, but I think for the viewers also, and welcome everybody. So the first episode which we're going to be talking, the topic we're going to be discussing in our first episode is regarding abetment to suicide, and like I said, it's a very sensitive topic as such, and it's kind of become relevant. And the whole concept of suicide which exists in our society today it's always been a kind of taboo, and people are always no one's really comfortable talking about it. Right now. Also, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I don't know the right words to use.
But I think suicide should be a taboo. Nobody should encourage something like a suicide.
Yeah,
it should always remain a taboo. I feel.
Yeah. No, meaning I think that's where the line should be drawn of what should be spoken about and what shouldn't, because now people are so aware of mental health and stuff like that. So you should we should talk about it. But this actually our topic is not going to be, at least what I have thought of, is not going to be regarding the whole suicide aspect of it, but attributing the culpability of a suicide towards someone else.
Yeah,
I think that's what our topic is going to be.
Yeah, I just want to add that, do you think this should actually be a crime? Abetment of suicide. Of course, suicide is a final step which a person takes when that person just gives up on life. So, do you think that another person can be held culpable for the act of one person? That person may be emotionally weak or going through things, but do you think because one person committed suicide, you put the other person to prison? So, do you think that's fair?
See, honestly, if you're asking me essentially if it should be a crime or not, my opinion, especially after what I've read over the course of over the past few days, is that it should be a crime, and the recognition of it to be a crime should be there. But again, your question was very finely worded, where you added those words of depending on someone's mental capacity and so and so. So yeah, it always depends on the facts of the case. But if the law of incriminating or punishing someone for abetment should exist or not, if that's the question, then yes, it should exist, because that is a problem which the society faces and it should be dealt with.
Correct. Do you think we should
No, please go ahead.
No, do you think we should discuss the legality of abetment of suicide? Because now what we see in the news and read in the newspapers, the definition of abetment of suicide has become extremely wide. So the media is portraying as if everything comes under the cloud of abetment of suicide. So I think we should put some light on what exactly is abetment of suicide by the book. Like, what does the Indian Penal Code talk about abetment of suicide? So
what do you think? But what do you think though? What do you think? Do you think it should be a crime? Answering your own question.
I think when things are extreme, like suppose, for example, if you tell me that, I'm either going to kill your family or you kill yourself, here's your rope. I think that should be the level of convicting someone for abetment of suicide. Because the options are such that, he's either going to kill my family or I have to die. So let me take the brunt. So I'll die. So I think that is where I'm giving him the rope as well. So I'm literally aiding his commitment of suicide. So I think probably that is the threshold according to me.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you, basically the whole, the genesis of this whole thing comes from prehistoric India. Like everything begins from the IPC and Macaulay and whatever they came up with. So those all things also kind of play a role into what, did they actually expect human life to be so complex as it is today? And did they actually expect people to be incriminated for things they could be incriminated for today? So, that's where, we need to always assess and test the laws with the present social scenario. So, you're not wrong in asking the question whether this should stand as a law. And
so you think we should get into the technicality, like what the book says?
Yeah. So, firstly, I wanted to ask you, before I want to read the provision, I wanted to ask you, and you can tell our viewers for today, I don't know how many people are going to be actually watching this, but what do you understand by abetment to suicide? What is your, maybe your general understanding of it?
So as I said, if a person puts another person, that is the deceased or the person who's committing suicide, in a situation where he has no other option left, like as I gave an example of either I kill your family or you kill yourself, here's the rope, in that kind of situation. So I think that is my definition and that is my threshold for abetment of suicide. It's not like, I'll tell this person, I'll give him 2 galis and he'll commit suicide. I don't think that construes as abetment of suicide. So I think because the punishment is quite high, honestly. It's 10 years imprisonment, maximum imprisonment. So I think the threshold should also be high, because for each and every, for example, a boss may fire his employee, and he feels bad about it and he feels that he has no chance to live, and he feels that he doesn't deserve to live. So I don't think the boss should be tried under 306 or abetment of suicide.
Yeah. I think that's fair enough. So, I think what you're saying also is kind of covered with the reading. Obviously not with the plain reading, because you need some sort of external aid for interpretation. But see, when you read 306, and I'll just read it, that 306, abetment of suicide. For people who don't know, this is section 306 of the Indian Penal Code 1860. And I'm reading it. So 306, abetment of suicide. If any person commits suicide, whoever abets the commission of such suicide shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. I think it's the most basic definition.
So that's why what is essential is you read the definition of abetment under 107 IPC.
Yeah. I think I should go there, right?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Read 107. So then people that explains it, what abetment is.
Yeah. So, like you said, I think the whole ingredient, the most essential ingredient of 306 was the word abetment. And someone who commits this act of abetment, which reads, what does abetment mean? For people who don't know, it's under section 107 of the Indian Penal Code itself, with the general explanations. And 107 reads as abetment of a thing. A person abets the doing of a thing who, first, instigates any person to do that thing, or secondly, engages with one or more other persons or persons in any conspiracy for the doing of that thing, if an act or illegal omission takes place in pursuance of that conspiracy and in order to the doing of that thing, or thirdly, intentionally aids by any act or illegal omission the doing of that thing, And there are two explanations. I'll just read them also. Explanation 1. A person who by willful misrepresentation or by willful concealment of a material fact which he is bound to disclose voluntarily causes or procures or attempts to cause or procure a thing to be done is said to instigate the doing of that thing. And explanation 2. Whoever either prior to or at the time of commission of an act does anything in order to facilitate the commission of that act and thereby facilitates the commission thereof is said to aid the doing of the thing. It's a little complicated. I think you should, in fact,
too complicated.
Yeah.
Like
I think you should give like a gist of it.
I think our statutes, instead of making things simpler, they just complicate more things so that like we can just interpret it in saying 100 different ways.
I know, but that's not fair to the legislators also. Like they were trying to cover up all the problems. Tomorrow if they weren't covering up some issue, then you'll be like challenging it, saying it's very ambiguous and everything. So I think it's very vast, but like I said, I think you should give a nice gist of it. What do you think abetment is?
I think for any crime, there needs to be mens rea. Like there has to be an intention to commit that crime. You know, for any crime to come, like there has to be an intention. Okay, like even for murder, if there is no mens rea, it becomes culpable homicide. It doesn't come to murder.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that is the most important part. Now, mens rea basically, of course, like it's the intention to do something, the planning which is there. Like, you know, you have to have that in your head that I want to commit this crime. You know, it shouldn't be like you cannot accidentally commit a crime. There has to be something to ground that, I feel. And same with this, I think what is essential in 306 per se is that a person should be left with no other choice but to commit suicide. Or a person should aid another person to commit suicide, like give him poison, give him a rope, or anything, whatever it may take to commit suicide. You know, I think that is essential. You cannot like randomly say that, my boss abused me today, so I'm committing suicide. In fact, there was an interesting case of the Supreme Court, which brings me to that. Madan Mohan or something. We'll put the cases in the description for all the viewers.
Yeah.
So what happened in this case was the deceased who committed suicide was a driver of the appellant. So apparently he used to always abuse him and make him work a lot, or make him work overtime and not pay him enough, etc., and be extremely and basically he didn't treat him well at all. So what happened was one day he was so fed up of this, and he wrote a suicide note, and then he committed suicide thereafter. Now, interestingly, he blamed him entirely for him committing suicide. He said that he made my life hell, and because of him, I cannot live any further, etc., etc. So now what the Supreme Court said that none of these incidents which he's mentioned in the suicide letter suggests that the accused intended him to commit suicide. And more than anything, I feel that there has to be a positive act done by the accused. Like there needs to be a positive act by the accused to make him commit suicide. Merely by abusing a person, you can't make him commit suicide. Like if the Supreme Court also held that in another judgment that by saying, "Oh, you go and die, tu mar ja," so that doesn't amount to abetment of suicide. That could be construed as being said in a fit of rage and anger, but it can't be abetment of suicide. So I think the general definition with people right now of abetment of suicide is quite mistaken, I feel. Like there has to be a positive act from the accused. There has to be a level to which the deceased has no other option, no other choice but to commit suicide. So I think that's possibly the broad outline of it.
And this in no way is trying to actually trivialize someone's suicide. Meaning, like, it's just that how much of it can you attribute it to someone else, and that is the abetment part of it. And just to add to what you said, like when I learned abetment, and I've read a few judgments, and I think the best way to understand what abetment means, and best way especially for law students, the law students are watching this, that abetment for me, according to me, is an act. A person is said to abet a crime is if without that act the crime wouldn't have been committed, then that act cannot be considered abetment. And like the abetment is, although may not be actually committing the crime, but it's an act in the preparation or of the commission of the crime which results in the crime. And it's so essential that without that, the crime would never have been committed. So when we talk about suicide in this aspect, when we talk about 306 in this aspect, I think that essential ingredient is when that person committed suicide. Now, example is someone has, like you said, is hung himself by the rope.
Yeah.
Now, the actual act of giving the rope, or someone who kind of aids that person in committing that act of hanging themselves and killing themselves, that person was aided, it should be charged and tried and convicted.
Yes.
Then that is something else. Because I'll tell you the main thing maybe behind the intention of the legislature, and after all these years why they've continued it, I think is that it's not okay, or I don't think we as a society want to promote or inculcate values where killing oneself is acceptable, or even helping someone to kill themselves is acceptable. That is the main thing.
Yeah, like how we see the movies. I mean, generally speaking, like that Russian roulette. Like, can you construe that as suicide? Abetment of suicide. Like one person puts one bullet and gives you the gun, and then you shoot yourself and you're dead. So can you construe that as abetment of suicide?
Obviously it depends on facts, but no, I don't think that should be like considered. But yeah, that's a good example actually to think about it. I've not thought of it in that way.
But one more example I'll give you. Like now that we're talking about movies, you watched 3 Idiots, right? I'm sure you watched. So in that scene where Sharman Joshi jumps off the roof, where Boman Irani gives him 2 options. You yourself
he commits suicide. He attempts to commit suicide.
Yeah. So either you get out of college, or you write in that letter saying that he so and so committed this, so that Amir Khan will get out of the college. And he had no option left, according to him, and he jumped off the roof, or jumped off the room rather. So do you think Boman Irani can be charged with abetment of suicide in such a case?
No, again, no. With the same example, like you said, because he didn't give an option, a third option of killing himself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even
I'm
so I don't think. Meaning, if Boman Irani had told him, you either whatever, Amir Khan or you, or you kill yourself, and he gave him kept the window open for him, saying you jump off from here and kill yourself away.
Correct.
Let's talk about something more interesting. Let's kind of expand it. Now, these are all what we've understood, abetment and 306, 107. But what if when there's a suicide note?
So, suicide note also...
And wait, I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. There's a suicide note and they're attributing, like in your boss example, although you've kind of revealed the suspense where in that your boss example, the boss was not convicted. But like your boss example, where you attribute the
not
act
my
of
boss, in the Supreme Court boss.
Not your boss. Your boss will. I hope he's not watching this. But he's very scary anyway. But obviously, I wish he was here. I think if he was here, we would have learned the act maybe in like 5 minutes. It would have been great for this. Anyway, so the point is that there's a letter, a suicide note, attributing the commission or the act of commission of suicide, or the reason for committing suicide to a person, and saying that because this person tortured me, I have done this. And then to the Supreme Court has held no. So what do you think?
I feel that even if there is a suicide note, as long as he hasn't done a positive act for you to commit suicide, I think that is the most important part in 306, that one has to have a positive act. And I genuinely feel that the threshold for this offense should be really high, because we live in a country where people commit suicide left, right, and center. There are so many suicides every day. We see farmers committing suicide every day. We don't hold the government responsible because they didn't get their money.
That's a good example actually.
So we don't make the government accused. What if the farmer leaves that I didn't get enough compensation from the government? So will we hold the government and accused? You can't. I mean,
means even after reading a few judgments, and like I found a few judgments where like the person said that I think there was this girl fell in love with her professor or something. I forgot the name of the judgment. We'll upload it. We'll give the description. This girl fell in love with a professor, and she wanted to get married to a professor, and she went to the professor's house. Okay, and the professor's parents like rejected her and threw her out and said, "Go die." They called her a call girl and they told her, "You don't deserve a son, and don't get married to a son," and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she really loved that boy.
Yeah.
And so she went home. She was really sad. And then her sister came to console her, and she's like, "These are the facts, the actual facts. This is a true incident." And she wrote a suicide note saying that because these people abused me and they tortured me and they spoke so ill about me, and they literally said, "You go die," and everything. And she committed suicide. Then the Supreme Court held in this case also that they discharged the parents and everything, and they did not find them guilty of abetment to suicide. They said we cannot attribute the suicide to these people. They must have said it, but they didn't actually abet, instigate, or aid.
Correct. Or a positive act, as I mentioned. I think that's
any positive, any overt act on their part to actually make her commit suicide. And it depends on person to person. Some girl might not have taken it that seriously. Some girl would have said, "Forget it, I'm still going to get married to that man."
Yeah.
It all depends on a person, like you said in the beginning. So, on the basis of this, the Supreme Court said that no, that person cannot be held liable to be convicted.
Correct. Yeah. So, I guess we should also talk about instigation. Like, I remember reading in one of the Supreme Court judgments that an essential ingredient is to instigate another person to commit suicide. So, what do you have to say about it?
I think firstly everyone's going to be wondering why is this guy changing his earphones so much. I've had different earphones throughout. Sorry, jokes apart. Instigation. So I think 107 in itself like classifies abetment into different kinds. Like the definition, like we read, is very complicated. And the first one is instigates any person. And I think there's a 3-judge bench. Headed by Justice Anand, who was the then Chief Justice. So they have kind of dealt with the meaning of instigation, and they have, in fact, I'm sure you've read it, and I think it's 2001 or 2002, something like that. And the way they have dealt with the whole meaning of instigation, they've defined it. I think that kind of covers it, and that has been a precedent. So instigation actually requires the person to be directly either. I think the theory of nexus also came through that, only the direct nexus theory, because that your instigation must have a direct nexus to the act of commission of suicide.
Yeah. Just to add on, I feel when can you say that a person has instigated another person? I think it is when that person is suggestive of a consequence. Like he's suggesting a consequence to another person. Like instigation means you do this particular thing, Like I think because he's suggesting of a consequence to the person. So I think that amounts to instigation. Merely by saying you go die, it's not instigation. No.
Coming back to where you actually started with, and when you explained suicide or abetment in your words, you spoke about mens rea, and I think that's very essential because there's a very interesting judgment of Justice Dalveer Bhandari. According to me, actually, I'm a big fan of Justice Bhandari because many of his judgments, especially the judgments he's passed on interpreting IPC, are brilliant. This being one of them, I think the Madan Mohan judgment, which I'll just check it out, but I think it's a Madan Mohan judgment. And there he talks about mens rea being what he essentially carves out by defining or understanding what 107 and 306 are, is that he says that the person must have the intention of having the other person commit suicide.
Correct.
That is the kind of mens rea you require. So it's not only mens rea or having a guilty mind of maybe speaking ill about a person or wanting someone's downfall, but it's actually having the intention of that person committing suicide, and that is very essential. That judgment is something which you all must read. I think I think there's a problem also with kind of oversensitizing it or kind of taking away the culpability of the person who committed the suicide and attributing it to a third party.
That is true.
I hope I'm not using too many big words. I hope I'm being clear.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you mean is that the person committing suicide itself is not a noble deed which he has committed.
Exactly.
Like committing suicide is the worst possible thing to do. I mean, people are left with no choice, of course, at times. And I mean, of course, like can understand why a person would take such a drastic step. But I think people should construe suicide as a taboo, as we started off this discussion as. Like, people should consider suicide as a taboo, and that should probably be the last thing on the plate, or probably not even be on the plate at all. Like,
or blaming someone for someone's death, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And apart from that, for blaming someone else, and when you relieve a suicide note, it is still a thing. Like, there are cases where there is no suicide note, but people are just blaming X, Y, Z, and like every day the blame keeps changing from X to Y to Z to A to B. And
I think you've been watching a lot of now in Republic, maybe.
But that's one more thing. I mean, that's one more aspect which we should address, may or may not this time, because we're talking about 306. But how the media is actually influencing cases,
Yeah.
Like, and more than that, media is giving their own definition of the statute or of the law, like what they think the crime should entail. I feel that is something wrong which the media should kind of curtail themselves.
No, I want to curtail myself also. I don't want to make our first episode too controversial, but some XYZ news anchors, they don't think they are the judges. They try, there's full trial happening. They publish on their news channel the evidence, everything is done.
Yeah.
They pass their verdict also. So there is not, and experts are there in small boxes over the screen.
Yeah.
All witnesses.
But they can't speak. But they don't get a chance to speak.
What about Sushant Singh Rajput?
I mean,
by smiling, I don't know.
I just want to say one thing about Sushant Singh Rajput. Of course, my condolences with him. I felt extremely bad when I read the news because I was a big fan of it. But I feel like after we spoke so much about abetment of suicide today, as to what controls abetment of suicide, what are the ingredients, and who should we hold accountable under this section, I think it just speaks for itself where his case is going. I think I don't need, I mean, both of us, I don't think we need to speak much about it, because our job in this podcast is not to pass comments on ongoing cases. And I mean, of course, we can pass our opinions, but I feel like this has become a big media hype, and I don't want to be the poster of that. So.
Yeah, meaning, I like I said, I don't want to be a vulture and like kind of use this as some mileage to kind of get more views or something, make it controversial. Firstly, that. And the reason, in fact, with due respect, I did smile when I said, what about Sushant Singh Rajput? I didn't smile because I want to show any disrespect to his death or his suicide. But I find it very absurd to see people's reactions, and it hurts me to see that people just are out there to really like go after someone. And maybe that person could be convicted. But the point is that when the law is like, it says something else, and then we as lawyers are aware of maybe the culpability of someone who's being accused of the crime.
And I think it's become more of a political
issue. It becomes very absurd to even like discuss so much about it.
Yeah, and I think it's become more of a political issue also now and then because of the media outrage. And so it's just going anywhere. I don't know. I mean, ultimately, when it comes to court, I think it's in the hands of our judges, and they will dispassionately look at the matter, of course. But let's see, and let's wait and watch when this comes to courts. Like right now, it's just with the investigating agencies, Mumbai Police, Bihar Police, CBI. So everybody is just working on it. So let's see what comes out of this. And I think like one more thing which I want to like, because we spoke about this case, I think for an offense such as abetment of suicide, where the threshold is so high, the job of the investigating agency shouldn't be to like look for offenders. Like it should be out there. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, today we charged this person. Oh no, it could be this person as well. It could have been this person as well. I don't think such kind of ambiguity, there should be such kind of ambiguity for charging someone for an offense of under 306. I feel like if you want to charge someone under 306, it should be out there. Like you have to know at the first instance itself that this person has caused the death of the other person. You can't keep investigating for like months to know who has done it. I don't think that's fair also.
Yeah.
I think that's antithetical to what exactly it is.
I don't think that's very ethical also. Like in memory of the person who's dead, because it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, like all hearts out to him. Like as I said, I'm a huge fan of Sushant. I mean, let's see where we go with this case. Honestly, like I've had too many discussions on this very topic with a lot of my friends, family, colleagues, everyone. So I'm kind of like done with it.
So wait. So now to conclude, just so we wrap up this episode. So, what is abetment to suicide? A. You to answer these questions. What is abetment to suicide according to you? A. What are the ingredients? And what do you think should really what do you think is really required, maybe, like, to cover up everything? What is required to fall under this crime or to commit this crime?
What do you think is the threshold of culpability in like charging someone with a crime under 306? I feel that is
you
more
want to go
important.
First, or I'll go first?
And to what extent do we consider the emotional stability and mental stability of the person who commits suicide when we convict someone? And also, I don't think we should answer these questions. I think we've done that through the episode. I think we should just end with these questions.
No, meaning I want to like give like a conclusion, because what do you think is essential for 306? I know there is no conclusion. Basically, there is no conclusion, like you rightly said.
Yeah, I feel according to me, it should be mens rea, intention, instigation, and a positive overt act. I feel these four are the most essential ingredients.
Something which really drives the person to commit suicide.
A positive overt act,
maybe charging someone without actually having sufficient prima facie evidence on record becomes a little futile, according to me.
Of course.
That sums it up. So thank you guys, and thank you for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, our podcast. It is something which we are actually trying out new. We kind of figured that we end up having these discussions almost every day, and not only both of us, but we with many other people, even with seniors and non-lawyers as well. So I think that's going to be essentially what this podcast is about, just discussing and sharing our views, and hopefully that will help you. And if nothing, there'll be good discussion. There'll be kind of movement and of thoughts and exchange of expression. So that's the whole point of it. So thank you for watching, and please do like, share, subscribe, and also leave comments if you want us to cover some topic on the next occasion. If you want to join us,
if you want to add on.
No, if someone wants to join, I would love to have, like, I think it'd be great if we keep having different people and like having these discussions. So like, share, subscribe, and thank you.